Trespassing is a tough issue no matter what city you live in. Here in Santa Monica, we have more than 7 million tourists visiting our city each year, along with a large population of homeless individuals. That said, there is a likelihood that somebody who doesn't belong will trespass on our property or a neighbor's property. But before you pick up the phone to call the police, there's something you should know. Greg Goldner has more.
What happens a lot of times in Santa Monica is that the property owners are not there at the location, or we don't have an agent of the property owner there. And they call us and they say, there are people on my property and I'd like to have them removed. Without having a trespass authorization form on file with the police department, we can't go on the property and ask those people to remove. We need the permission from the owner so that we are acting as their agent to go out there and have those people removed.
The Trespass Authorization Form applies to both residential and business properties, and keep in mind their expiration date, as the police will not be able to act on your behalf if there's not a current form on file.
There are two types of forms, or the law allows for two types. The first one is for the form to be valid for 30 days. So if you're out of town and you see someone on your property, you call us and you have a letter on file within those 30 days, we can go out there and ask those people to leave. There's another one where if the property is abandoned or it's closed to the general public and it's posted by signs, we could have a letter on file for up to 6 months.
There's two ways to fill out the authorization form, either by hand and then submit it to the police department, or you can take care of it all online. Keep in mind that depending on the type of form, you'll need to renew it every 30 days or 6 months. Folks are encouraged to submit online, not just for the ease, but you'll also receive an electronic renewal reminder 5 days before the expiration date of the current form.
So Greg, this would be an example of what Sergeant Oshiro was talking about. This is a vacant business here.
Okay.
You can see there's a doorway here. A lot of times there's bleed over, maybe from another business. Someone driving by may call in that there's an issue or something they saw, or they may just call just because the person's hanging out. And in order for the police department to legally remove them, we need a representative from the business to contact us, to give us that authorization to really remove them and really take some action other than what we have seen.
And that's where that form comes into place.
And that's where the form comes into place, yes.
That makes sense. And while this building, this property is abandoned, you have apartments all over the place. So more likely than not, these folks are going to call and say, hey, there's something going on, or hey, there's people outside of my apartment window. But if you don't have that letter, if you don't have the authorization,
I can contact them, try and work with them. But a lot of times the expectation is to completely remove them from the property.
Right.
And if I don't have authorization from the owner, then I have to verify whether they can be here or not. And that could take me a few days to verify.
While vacant buildings and empty parking lots are ideal for trespassers, something like a residential garage or carport can be just as inviting.
Greg, so this would be a good example here. This is a carport where the residents cannot see back here. It's also posted no trespassing. You've got chairs back here. This would be somewhere where someone might be hanging out or people may be hanging out. And although the residents couldn't see it, the neighbors could see it and they can put in that call. And if I were to receive that call and that I knew that the letter was on file, I can have that person removed. The letter also gives me contact information as to who the representative is on this property, so I can contact and verify whether the person is legally there or not.
Whether you're a property owner who's going on vacation, a business owner closing down shop for a while, or even if you live in your residence full-time, no matter what your situation is, fill out a Trespass Authorization Form. So that way, you've always got your bases covered. For Santa Monica Update, I'm Greg Goldner.
To ensure that our city remains as safe as possible, there's really no downside to filling out the Trespass Authorization Form. While it might be a slight inconvenience, it's a small step that could make a big difference if trespassing is ever an issue. For more information or to fill out the trespassing form, head on over to santamonicapd.org.